Cubby blue blood flowing through our veins. Sitting in the bleachers in the rain. We've shed a million tears and drank as many old-style beers out at the game. Let's go, Cubby, Son Ranto.
Michael Cotton.
Son Ranto.
Michael Cotton.
Son Ranto and the lovable Lucy.
Mucho Scali.
Son Ranto.
Michael.
Son Ranto.
Cotton.
Son Ranto and the lovable Lucy.
Michael Cotton.
Son Ranto.
Mucho Scali.
Get your motor running. Get on the highway. You kind of sounded like a motorcycle revving up. You know, just like the season.
Me. I need a little fuel this morning, and that just woke me up. I was not feeling this like 3 minutes ago because I had to look at your ugly faces and talk about both of your stupid computers and cell phones and iPods that don't work anymore. But now I'm fired up. It's fucking baseball season started. Wait, is it spring training or did baseball season start? I don't know. What's going on?
I don't know. We'll get into it. I mean, we're going to talk about the start of baseball season. We're going to talk about the continuing spring training for some reason because apparently we still got to figure some things out, which we do, by the way. But Cotton, how you doing? You didn't scream. Are you awake?
You know what?
Oh, he is.
I am awake. Yeah, you know, it's like, so I've been on vacation all week, right?
Nice. Where'd you go?
We went to Madison for a couple of days. So both the kids had spring break. We were going to plan a big trip, and then a tree in my yard.
Oh, hit your fence.
Did it hit the fence?
No, maybe like 200 years old or something. Ginormous tree. Had to get it cut down. Cost us over $5,000.
What?
And oh, no. You don't understand. Like when you hear $5,000, you're like, oh my God, that's a lot of money cut down.
And you watch them do it.
And then you watch them do it and you're like, I know where all that money is going.
Yeah.
Like it's going to insurance. It's going to, they had to bring a crane.
Equipment. Yeah.
Like this insane crane, this tree, you have to understand.
Was it Crane Kenny?
Yeah. This tree was like 50 feet high.
I mean, he destroyed the Cubs. He might as well destroy your tree too.
Yeah. The trunk is like 6 feet across. It's that big. Like we're talking 10,000 pounds.
Oh my God. How old is this tree? This must be a 100-year-old tree or more.
Oh, it's like 200 years old. Like my house was built in the 1860s. This tree has been here that whole time, probably was already here.
I had three trees taken down last year, Michael, in the winter. My neighbor had a tree coming down. He's like, oh, the rest of them look pretty good. I'll trim everything. And then he looks across my yard because he was cutting her trees down. He was like, but that tree right there. And I was like, oh, of course, my tree. And he's like, look at that. That's a split in the middle. He said, it's going to fall on your house this winter. He said, that thing's about to go. And I was like, don't say that. He's like, Lyle, I don't have the time or the energy, or do I want to do this? I'm telling you, because it's real. He said, I don't give a fuck. I'm too busy. I don't need your money. And I was like, must be nice. And it's a 100-year-old pine. It was 125 feet tall. There was room to land it and place to drive down. And it was like $3,800, but we had 3 trees between me and my neighbor, and it was over $10,000.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I mean,
and I was impressed.
I'm with you. My tree had that same thing. Like we had a derecho like 5 years ago. And since then a crack has opened up and they were coming to just cut a little bit of it off. This guy that I know was going to cut a little bit of it off, and he tapped that, and you could just hear that it was hollow inside. And he's like, and again, he was the same way. He couldn't even do it. Like he's like, you have to go to this other company because I can't even physically do this thing.
Oh my God. Well,
anyway, I've been home all week, except for when we went up to Madison. Madison was fun.
Oh God, we didn't even get to the Madison story yet. We just
There's a mustard museum up there.
Oh my God! Now we're on mustard.
Well, look, I'm bringing it up for a reason.
The only condiment
mustard museum got started because this Boston Red Sox fan
Oh, here we go. Oh, now he's going to rip on the Red Sox, Dan.
No,
I was having a good morning. Now you pissed me off, Michael. I don't even know what you're going to say.
I'm going to make it worse. So this Red Sox fan living in Milwaukee, and he's diehard, right? 1986. He is so into the game. And we all know what happened. I won't go into it. But the Red Sox lose. He is despondent, hates his life, and he's like, I need something else to think about other than, like, I can't have my life be this.
So he went into the mustard museum business. Wow.
And now he's got this like crazy mustard museum where you can go and you can actually buy mustards from all over the world. You can taste them. And it's like there's a bunch of jokey stuff in there. They've got a documentary. It's actually a pretty cool little place. It's free.
I definitely go to a mustard museum. But
me too. I mean, Danny. I mean, we both love like any sideshow, any street side weird. Like, oh, look, it's the biggest fish in the entire world, or it's the whatever it is.
Lyle, I still want to do this project with you, which is to travel the country and stay at the world's worst motels.
I
like,
know.
I do. The trashier, the more bloodstains, the better. Like for us,
we'll just call it the Bed Bug Podcast because it's going to be fucking awful.
Wake up and document our bites. It would just be a blood feast for these cocksuckers.
Dave, I can't share comments, but David said old guys talk about trees is very Son Ranto.
Yes.
Michael, did you save any of that wood? Did you make a Wonder Boy out of said tree?
Yeah.
Did you save a piece? Because the Cubs bats are not working, at least in the regular season. So maybe, just to get it back to baseball, did you make them a special bat? Which player are you giving it to? Who is our Roy Hobbs? That's my question. What are you doing?
God.
What are you doing to help this team?
Send it to Kyle Tucker. That guy can't hit for shit.
No, but we want somebody who's going to hit and be a star. Then he's like,
yeah. If I give it to Kyle Tucker, he'll suck with it this year, and then he'll go to the Dodgers probably next year and rake with it. So no, I'm not doing a Wonder Boy. But now that you say that, Lyle, I'm kind of pissed because I was like, I totally could have done something like that. Like I can't afford it right now because of the fucking tree
exactly.
so much. But maybe if I would have saved some of that wood, I did was I had
to whittle the log.
I told them
whittle it yourself,
I wanted all the wood chips so I can cover my parking.
I did the same thing.
Oh Jesus, man!
Old man,
I
talk about parking.
I'm buying a place, and I'm really hopeful I have no trees.
Wait a minute.
Actually, the bank is buying it.
All right, we gotta talk on the phone outside of this.
Oh, I didn't tell you yet.
No, I talked to Johnny more than I talked to you. Him and I've been texting on the daily.
Nice. Well, let me do the show intro so I feel like we at least did that, and then we can move on. But this is brought to you.
Then we'll actually start talking about Japanese things, right?
Probably not. The Son Ranto Show is brought to you by the Bleacher Bunch Productions on the Fans First Network with great shows like Cup of Cubby Blue, Baseball Rabbit Hole, the Cubs PS Plus podcast, and Bricks Behind the Ivy and Cubs Pod, which is back, baby. But we're only here because of our incredible Patreon supporters. There's a lot of you, well over 100. Become a super ranter at patreon.com/bleacherbunch. Join for $1 and you're eligible to win the Patreon prize of the month, which we'll do next week. And also that'll be furnished by our sponsors, Matt Kammerer's Permanent Paintings. He's got a cool Etsy store, and also In the Clutch shirts. That's what you'll win if you win the Patreon prize of the month. So join up at patreon.com/bleacherbunch. And on this episode, we're going to talk about the Cubs, and then we're going to do the bitch clock. And then and you can participate in the bitch clock if you'd like. We'll share a link in a little bit. You can come on and maybe spin the bitch clock yourself. But first, I got to tell you, this is so awesome. Now, you all know our friend Tatsuya, who I brought to his first Cubs game at Wrigley Field with Yuka and Nagi. And I gave him his first shot of Malort, which ended up like this. I'm going to play the video.
Bye-bye.
And here it comes. Oh, and out it goes.
Oh, I love that.
Danny conveniently edited out the part where he tells Tatsuya he's going to explain the history of Japan to him.
Well, I am an expert. And then today I get a WhatsApp message from Bleacher Jeff out in Japan, and check this out. He's having dinner with the family. There's Yuka and
Look at
Tatsuya
that cute little baby with the backwards ball cap. I love it.
And Nagi, she's got a little Cubs jersey. I don't know if that's a Cubs jersey. It looks like it might be, but Jeff gave her a ball and that pink hat, and he's like, "I've got a friend for life in that kid," and that's Jeff's mom right there. So they're out in Japan together, having
Jeff,
dinner.
your mom looks younger than you.
I was just gonna say, I would have never guessed that was.
Wow, tell her she looks great.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's funny because I did not zoom in on the picture, and I text Jeff back. I'm like, "Who's the chick?" And he's like, "It's my mom, bro." I'm like, "Even weirder that you're fucking your mom."
Whoa.
I know. Well, I'm listen. We used to talk like this all the time. I mean, this is the first thing that comes to my mind.
That's like everything on Pornhub right now. Like, you can't go to a porn site without seeing.
All right, we don't want to hear about.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about your porn algorithms.
Jesus Christmas.
Yeah, we know you don't like your mom, and however you take care of it is your business. But we don't want to hear about it on this show. Let's get back to the trees.
Sorry, everybody.
Tree doing?
Hey, you're the one that brought up wood.
By the way, I've been the least inappropriate person on this show thus far. I'm shocked.
Well, it's now this is what I'm talking about with Japan. So Jeff's out there making Cub fans for life. These guys were already at Wrigley. There's a picture of Nagi when she was little with Yuka and Tatsuya. And here's my Thai guy stealing her baseball, just like you do.
Look at her. She's watching him too. She's like, nah, no, that's my ball.
Yeah, no, he's not getting that ball. I think, so she's a Cub fan for life. What the Cubs and Dodgers did over there was great I think for baseball in general, in the fact that you're making Major League Baseball fans out of people who are already baseball fans. And I think it's just going to grow the sport. And what the Cubs are specifically doing is taking on the kind of responsibility of growing the game in Japan. And part of why they're doing it is because they're cheap ass motherfuckers and they want cheap Japanese players and they see it as a market inefficiency. So, but I think both things are going on.
No,
it's the entire thing.
No, it's not. It is only part, because the other part is how many hats and jerseys and shit they're going to sell. And they're not, their Japanese business is going to sell it. It's going to do nothing for the club here in Chicago. They're going to keep all that money and they're going to be greedy fucks. I'm pissed again. I was so excited. Now I'm pissed again, Danny. Thanks a lot.
Well, especially because we get like kind of the Temu Japanese players, whereas like the Dodgers get all the good ones. Like, I'm not going to say that, like, you know what I mean?
We get the off-brand Otanis.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. I mean, if Seiya Suzuki pitched, then maybe I could make a case that we're getting the second tier guys. They
like
were
when my dad bought me a pair of Convert sneakers when I was in third grade instead of Converse.
Yeah, my Fordens.
Yeah.
Convert. It was sold by the Catholic Church.
Yeah, and there were like 8 stripes on it. I was like, these are weird. Oh, he's like, they're double good. They have twice the stripes.
Yeah, Danny has a pair of what are they, like Puma Jordans or something like that?
Yeah, Puma Jordans. Yeah, I actually just got rid of those because I was walking in the rain and I was like, my feet are all wet. I look in the bottom, like there's just giant holes in the bottom of my shoes. Well-worn shoes, but I wish I was wearing them in Japan. I'll tell you that much, because I have massive FOMO seeing Jeff hanging out with Cubby Mike out there, hanging out with Tatsuya and Nagi, hanging out at the Bay Stars game. He got to go to some I guess it was still spring training for them.
Spring training, yeah.
But I mean, I also really loved watching these games, especially when the Cubs played the Japanese teams, because I loved the singing. I love the chanting, and like it's so powerful to me. You know, I wish we could do that. I don't think we have it in us.
Well, it starts with the wave. And if you're unwilling to do the wave, then you do not get the chance. And that's just how it is, Danny.
It's true. If we only would just relent and do the wave at Wrigley Field.
I don't know if that's how that works.
Oh, that's what I thought, because I saw them do the wave, so I assumed that's where the chants came from. I thought it was inspiring. They get closer to God, the chants go into their head, they go down, and they start singing.
Well, Jeff was telling me on the Bleacher Bunch the other night that they actually take the fans out onto the field and they practiced the chants. Like thousands of people came onto their baseball field at the Bay Stars game.
Oh,
and
then
somebody
that's
led
never
it.
happened.
Yeah, I was like, has anybody ever done the door at Wrigley? You're like, you step next to the foul line. They're like, sir, we will tackle you if you step on the grass. You're like, what the fuck?
Well, we
dude?
just don't have a very polite culture. Like the fact is we are too immature to go on the field and act right. Like, you'll have people
because people would be
the ivy,
stealing dirt, breaking pieces of ivy off, ripping up the fucking grass. You're right. Fucking
they just have a better, they're just better people than us. Like, I mean, so they can handle adult things like going out of the field and singing a bunch of songs together. We do not have, like 7 fights would break out. I think you're on a tune.
Oh, and 3 of them would just be the Dodgers security tackling people.
People would be running into the locker rooms, down the tunnel, stealing shit. It'd be a disaster.
Yeah. Taking dumps in the White House. Oh wait, that's something else.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the game sucked though for the Cubs. Though I mean, they really it was an anemic showing. I was there 5 a.m. watching this shit, and it was.
I was not. And
How about the Tigers though?
The Hanshin Tigers, yeah. That's who I wish I rooted for, because they look great.
Really
I will say. When they were playing the Japanese teams, that one night game that they did against Hanshin Tigers, like I was into that game, and I really like the Japanese style of baseball. Surprise, surprise! Like the U.S. style, the 3 true outcomes, and come on, that's what the Cubs were doing. That whole game, which didn't make any sense because they were using a deadened ball. They never changed their approach. They're just like, let's just see if we can hit this ball out of the park. And it's going halfway. Yeah. It's not even making it to the warning track. And they just keep hitting it the exact same way.
It's weird that they were using 2 different balls in the game too. Like, I mean, I understand why you don't want to mess with the pitchers, but it does put a feather in the cap of the Japanese team to have a livelier ball. But to the point of the Dodgers series, though, it's like, to me, it's like you saw a lot of what you saw last year, kind of in a little microcosm, and I won't make too much out of the games, but bad base running, a bunch of errors. Now the pitchers, I don't think were ready. Everybody was walking everybody in all these games, and that's kind of my problem with them even playing the games. I mean, I hear a lot of people talking about, but like, it is too early for these games to count. These should have been exhibitions. Everybody kind of feels that way, except for that fact that maybe people are a little bit more interested because they're real games. But the pitchers were not ready. The offense looked anemic. They barely scored any runs. Whereas the Dodgers just looked stacked. They didn't have Betts. They didn't have Freeman, but they had Sasaki, who we wanted, pumping 100 at us. And, that's once again, like the Cubs not getting the big fish. I mean, it was probably a preordained thing. He's going to the Dodgers anyway. Right. And then you have the fact that we're just not stacked up against them player for player, position by position. They are a much better team, a lot more depth, 7 closers. Like, it's ridiculous when you saw the 2 teams playing each other. I'm like, oh God, we're not going to make it past this.
Yeah. And people are so upset about the Dodgers. And I mean, okay, that's fine if that's what you want to be upset about, that they pay everybody, but the Dodgers are just doing it the way that they should all be doing it. They have a great farm system and they spend money. Like, it's not an either or, it's a both if you want to have a great team. So it's like, why do they have a great team? Because they just fill their team with all the best players and then see where it goes from there.
I think what makes that hard, Michael, like as far as the whole league goes, there's probably only 4 other teams who could do that. The Cubs being one of them, which is what's frustrating about being a Cubs fan, I guess. But it makes it hard for the rest of the league. But there's the other side of the coin where you say, okay, here's this evil empire again. Here's a team that every other team in baseball can hate because fuck them. They're just throwing money at everything. They're buying their team, even though you're right. They have a great farm system and a lot of people coming up. They're doing both things. But
nobody ever talks about is that they also have a great farm system. And it's like, if it was literally just they buy people and never develop, then there's a little bit more of an argument there. But no, they also develop their players well.
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, the guys that are carrying them.
And you're right.
Yeah, paying.
Yeah.
The Cubs could do a similar thing. There are only a few people that can do what the Dodgers are doing.
The Yankees,
but there are
the Cubs,
29 other teams that can absolutely do more. Like
for sure.
The
and
Pirates
that's going to be the big
more.
fight.
The Pirates don't even spend what they get from the revenue sharing.
Well,
yeah,
you know, like,
and the Cubs lose a lot of money in the revenue sharing too. And some of these big teams,
that's criminal that the Pirates do that, and they should be forced to sell at some point. At some point, the commissioner has to be. They have to change the rule. There has to be a minimum and maybe a maximum. Maybe it's not necessarily a salary cap per se. There's got to be a window. There really has to be. Like, you can't have teams put players on the field that just.
Well, it depends, because baseball is such a weird sport that you could have a wild card team sneak in with like 85 wins or something, and then
only
somehow
you change the rules.
Sure, but even in other times before the rules, baseball is a weird sport where the worst team in baseball can beat the best team in baseball. They can light up their ace because baseball is uniquely that way.
Right.
You know, that when you talk about like trying to get parity in the league, there already is a lot of like sort of parity built in just with the weirdness of the game. So it's like, to salary cap, it seems wrong. They've done all this shit like, oh, you get a guy for 7 years so that you're forced to develop, and they keep it cheap so that, and then but they still have a fairness system where you get the arbitration, and, they've done all these things to try to, kind of squeeze in parity where you have to be good at all aspects of development and drafting and paying. But when you get to the real haves and have-nots, the Dodgers being the ultimate in halves, and let's say the Pirates being the ultimate in like probably could do better, there's got to be some sort of floor that's set for the Pirates, a salary floor.
I agree.
But I don't know about a salary cap. I kind of don't like the idea of a salary cap in baseball. It's like that seems anti-player.
Yeah, and I don't think there should be a salary cap.
But with salary caps in some leagues, basically the owners are forced, like they pretty much get it where revenue's this much, and they're like, all right, at least half the revenue goes to the players. So that's how they do it. And the owners get the other half. I don't know that that's necessarily fair. One guy gets half the money and, 25 guys get the rest, or whatever it is, 100 guys in the organization. But I think it's also, there's got to be something there. I don't know. There's got to be something there.
Yeah,
I think
definitely
for fairness.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that Major League Baseball has a problem with how they run most of everything that they do.
Well, how about this? I mean, they are bragging, and rightfully so. The whole thing in Japan was amazing. And maybe you're right. Maybe they should do it right before the All-Star break. Maybe they work it out so there's something there, right? And that's how you do it. But I would say they're bragging a lot. It's, the most attended game in Japan ever, the most watched game in Japan ever. They set all kinds of records for international baseball. Really good for growing the sport outside the States. I would also say I still put on ESPN sometimes. I still do those things once in a while just to see what's going on. Not a lot of talk about baseball, even while they were in Japan. I mean,
well, but that's
except
March Madness is a bigger story
that's
right
because
now.
ESPN is a garbage network, and they don't actually cover sports anymore.
That's fair, Michael, but they do cover a lot of basketball, a lot of football. I saw a lot of NFL stuff. I saw
a lot of NFL. They do not give a shit about any sport except for the NFL. They just play NFL.
Well, but I mean, even local stuff, like the only thing I really saw was, a samurai sword. You know what I mean? Like that was the moment. And that was fucking cool. Really cool. And but that's what most people took out of the series because that's what they saw.
Well, to be
people
fair
don't even realize it was in Japan.
To be fair to you got to be fair to ESPN about not wanting to show baseball. No, you do, because to be fair to ESPN, the marquee network won't even show their own games. Like, the Cubs literally have a channel, had a home game yesterday. Everybody's gearing up for the season. They are not showing the game. They're not showing the game again today, by the way, either on Saturday. So, so why the hell should ESPN do it if marquee network won't talk about it?
Like, we don't want to go up against March Madness, but you're like, a lot of baseball fans don't give a fuck.
I don't. I watch the game. I mean, yeah, Cub fans are freaking rabid. There's millions of us that would tune into this stuff.
That's the ultimate fallacy of sports broadcasting, is that they constantly tell us over and over and over, nobody will watch this thing, so we won't put it on. Well, no, we'll watch it, but we can't. Like, if you don't put it on, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They're like, we don't get anybody watching it, because if they ever put one game on and they don't really tell you where it's, they're just
think of all the dumb shit you can watch. You can watch people playing freaking cornhole. You know what I mean? You can watch freaking tiddlywinks and curling.
Right, and they show that, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe how many people are watching this.
I'm on TikTok. You know what diddling is?
Yes, and I don't think we should be talking about this.
No, Michael already talked about his mom porn, and I would like to stay away from some subjects if we could.
Literally, and Lyle's already brought up the Catholic Church. We're done with this.
Singing. It's you guys are dirty. It's singing. It's
I know what diddling is.
It's like Irish people, English people, and it's this thing.
Danny, you can do it. Actually, Danny can do
it. And it's like a skill. Yeah. Like, I guess freestyling kind of sort of thing.
Like duck calling. Diddling. They show duck calling on there.
And exactly, I was sitting there on TikTok watching this diddling competition. I'm like, and you're telling me the marquee network can't show the damn game? I'm like, people will watch anything. I'll watch freaking at least 2 minutes of a diddling competition, and get your mind out of the gutters, guys.
Well, I mean,
we did that in college once.
Look what happened when ESPN used to carry the spelling bee.
Yeah,
a freaking
I always watch that.
It became a thing because they put it on the air.
Puppy Bowl.
If you put the thing on the air consistently, you will find your audience. People will
where it is, where you can watch it. You know what I mean? Like, even in the days of WGN, like later years, there were times it was on other networks, right? But they'd show you, they'd be like, oh, tomorrow it's not on here, but we'll be over on this channel and this channel. And now it's like, I don't know if it's competitive or what it is, but it sucks. It all sucks.
Joey's in the chat here. Wrigleyville Bump says, love it when there's a Cubs game on and I put Marquee on and they're showing the compound. That is why I pay for Marquee. Why would I ever boo Marquee? I got to bring this up, and then we'll take it to a commercial break, because
we can discuss for free.
Exactly. We can discuss more of this during the bitch clock, because some of these topics were already on and I still want to talk about are in.
We haven't even talked about the games, really. We should.
Well, I mean, do we really have to talk? Everybody saw the freaking games. The Cubs went up. They didn't score any runs. The pitching, everybody walked everybody. The Dodgers are better than the Cubs, period. End of story.
Michael, do you have, before Danny pees his pants, do you have one big takeaway from the games? Let's do it like this.
Yes. Okay. One big takeaway. The Dodgers want to hit the baseball, and the Cubs want to take a walk. That's what I saw. Like, if you watch these games, the Dodgers got up there. They were ready to hit. And I posted this over on the Discord, and pictures of the where they hit the ball in that first game. They scored 6 runs. Ohtani out of the four runs in the first game, but out of the zone. Ohtani, both hits. Which
shows he's a bad hitter. He's just chasing everything.
These balls,
it's going to even
out. They were scoring on, that they put up as highlights. They were all out. Now, look, that box is fake. It it doesn't exist, and the one that we saw
It
was
looked
really
like
bad.
shoelaces to freaking kneecaps on the,
Right, that one was really bad.
Camera
But
angle was so fucking
it was
weird.
outside of that box. So if we could just assume that the box is somewhat correct, but it's even, and it was too big, right, Danny? And it was still outside of the box. They were hitting all those balls, and the balls that the Cubs hit were in the box, and it was like they were surprised. Oh, it's coming down the pipe and they're hitting it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the crazy.
Well, there was
part.
that big, I think it was Michael Bush who struck out on that ball on the outside corner. And he looked like he was looking for a walk because everybody was walking in that inning. The Cubs had bases loaded. This is in the second game, and they were trying to climb back into this one, and they failed twice. They had one out, bases loaded. Sasaki, I believe, was still on the mound and on the ropes, his first freaking game as a Dodger, and it was, I think I'm thinking of this right. Was it?
Well,
yeah, because
OBP
Yamamoto was in game one.
OBP is the only thing that matters anymore, and batting average is garbage. That's what the stat heads tell people. And so, the Cubs are out there trying to. They're looking for the walk. So look, I coached Little League for years. That this is not Little League, obviously.
So Michael knows he's going to tell you how he would coach the Cubs.
Right. No, this is obviously not Little League. But if you're telling, like, that's what we had to tell the little kids is when you go up there, you have to be
a hitter
to swing and not take the pitch. Like, you have to go outside. Like,
that's what Rachel Folden said too when we interviewed her. She's like, you always have to never be ready to not swing, always be ready for the swing, and then try to pull that back if it's not what you
that's
want.
what I saw from the Dodgers. Dodgers go up there and they're ready to hit any pitch that they can hit, and the Cubs are like waiting to find out what the ball's doing before they even start to swing.
Well, what's your takeaway from the series, Lyle?
I honestly, just not the fans. It was everything, and it felt like bigger than a World Series in some ways. Like watching it, even though I knew domestically it didn't seem to make a big impact.
It's 5 in the morning.
I know.
Probably it was 3 in the morning.
No, I mean they
California.
did a terrible job, but it was really great there. And I would say things I really liked about the production value. Man, just some of those angles, and maybe just because it's different. So it was like, it just felt new, but just, it did feel like a video game. And that's what a lot of people were saying.
Well, can I bring this up?
Because it was gorgeous to look at. It was beautiful.
Because I think they were using these AI repeats, which is like, let me play this real quick because I have a video right here of this AI. You talked about, like, this is Dansby in the hole. Check this out.
Yeah, no, so it's unbelievable.
But isn't that AI? I think that's not really Dansby Swanson. And like, to me, and I put it in the bitch clock because to me, I don't think that's really, look at it again. I think that is an avatar of Dansby Swanson. And everybody's fake AI. Am I thinking of this wrong? Because it looks fake to me.
It looks fake, but it might be just that it's one of those new 10 million K cameras.
I thought what I read that it was just super high def and it was a different angle. And it's an angle that they use in the baseball video game. So people connect with it, I think, in that way. I believe it's real, but if it's not, maybe somebody.
Because to me, it looks fake.
I agree it looks kind of fake, but I don't think it is, Danny. And if it is, I'm shocked by that because
I'm like, why don't we just really watch the actual players do this stuff? But I've been, the Ray Kurzweil in me, the futurist. Well, I kind of believe that they would love to eventually get rid of the players altogether. Just have us watch these avatars, have the season pre-planned, and we all gamble on it. Like they don't have to pay the players. It's just this totally virtual baseball season that we could watch through completely made up dudes like that you could create at MLB The Show. We all play it ourselves. Maybe you could have your own team.
I mean, Michael, since you spend all that time on Pornhub on VR, is
the only way his mom.
Is it getting that realistic, or is baseball going to get there? Is it going to follow porn? Because porn.
Yeah. Does it really look like you're doing your mom?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really weird.
You know what else is really weird? Joey W here in the chat too. He's been sending me these videos, been putting them up on our TikTok page. There's this new AI thing that can make people hug.
Right.
And I don't know if you've seen this going around, but he texted
Danny,
me.
we just talked about this. It's on Pornhub.
I know,
People
but
hugging.
look at this. So
That's
he's
all they
like,
do.
who would be funny to
Almost.
make? He's like, who would be funny to make hug? I'm like, do the security guard and the goat at 1945 World Series. Check this out.
'Cause this angel has flown away from me.
And then Billy Spiannis and the goat and the security guard all hug.
Oh no, it's got human hands. I don't like that.
I know. I'm glad you pointed that out. I was going to point that out just to creep everybody out further.
100% just sent chills down my spine when that goat's front paws turned into human hands.
Well,
Ugh.
you know that in the next clip of that, which Danny can't show because we'll all get sucked into the vortex, that goat turns into Satan himself, and that is why the Cubs were cursed so much. It was, they made a deal with the devil, and they did not.
And I do have that video here too. So check this out.
Lou
Yeah.
Bartman, man.
That makes me sad.
And then here's Rick. It's
'Cause this angel has flown away from me.
all the years of
leaving me with
bad blood melting away.
misery.
I
What a
100% would have.
future.
I 100% would have believed the last one. Like I would have just.
I think
assumed
that might have
actually
actually happened. That they
Oh,
did
did it?
hug. Yeah, I think. I think that's an actual. It might be a hug, or it might be a picture that Joey AI turned into. But we can make anybody hug now. Apparently, that's the future. That's the present we live in. It's not
Can
even
we-
the future. It's
can
what
we
we
do-
dreamed of.
Can we do one of Mike and his mom and see if he cries?
Somebody, Joey, if you can, real quick, Mike, if you would mind sending a picture of your mother to Wrigleyville Bum.
Look, all this mother stuff. It's over the top. We need to settle it down. Joey, make me hug Bleacher Jeff's mom. She's kind of got it going on.
That's how.
All right, commercial break.
That's how
And then we're
Bleacher
going to
Jeff.
come back and wrap this thing up.
That's how Bleacher Jeff was conceived. So I want that video. Naked people hugging. All right. So where were we in the script? Oh yeah, we got to go to the commercial break. So support us on Patreon if you would. That would be really helpful. It's patreon.com/bleacherbunch. We're gonna take a quick break and play this commercial. Do we have a silhouette that we're gonna go to? All right, yeah, let's
All right,
do.
we're gonna come
Here
back and do
is the silhouette. Check this thing out. This is a upper deck rookie card. Little lefty action going on. Pretty distinct batting style. So I think people might be able to pick this up.
All right, who is it? Tell us in the chat. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
The Son Ranto Show has hired me, a professional voiceover actor, to tell you why you should become a Son Ranto Patreon patron at patreon.com/sonranto. First of all, it's only $1 a month. And if you can't afford $1, I don't even know that the Son Ranto Show wants you as a listener, because you're too poor to even hang out with anyway. Also, as a Patreon member, you get the Son Ranto Show ad-free and the Patreon-only podcast called Cubs Pod, which releases daily during the season with bonus episodes all off-season long. Son Ranto Patreon members are also eligible to win a monthly prize, get exclusive Son Ranto Discord page privileges, and there are more perks at every level. Plus, 10% of your Patreon support goes to help the Lost Boys Youth Baseball program as we give back to our community. So what are you waiting for? Spend your hard-earned money on tickets and beer for the Son Ranto Show by subscribing at patreon.com/sonranto. Otherwise, they'll think you're a poor loser. A big, fat, dorky, poverty-stricken loser. Take it from me and by commanding professional voice and become a Son Ranto Patreon supporter right now.
If you like the Cubs a bunch, buy your t-shirts from In the Clutch. We've got all the best styles for you. Dansby, Saya, Morel too. Clark Fly in his double U. Cody Bellinger, smoking dudes. Vintage shirts from days of old. Patrick Wisdom and Nico. You'll look sharp wearing your stro. 10% off with the code SONRANTO. SONRANTO. InTheClutch.com is your store for the most fun baseball shirts on the planet. Don't forget to use promo code SONRANTO to knock a couple bucks off your purchase. Stack or die, we need more cups. Get it all at In the Clutch. Cause if you like the Cubs a bunch, buy t-shirts from In the Clutch. Get it all at In the Clutch. Get it all at In the Clutch.
Welcome
All right,
back.
We didn't have very many guesses because Corey Furlong nailed it right off the bat.
Oh, I was gonna say Fukudome too, because I was hoping that you would have recognized the moment.
Yes, absolutely. Kosuke Fukudome threw out the first pitch the other day, which was cool to see him again. And, you know, and he's still a big star in Japan. Like he went back, he obviously played for a number of teams after the Cubs, and then he went back and played in Japan for a while.
And all right, so let's do some bitch clocking. But I see somebody put in the NCAA Lost Boys basketball bracket standings.
Oh yeah, I added that. I wanted to do a quick update. The current standings in the Lost Boys basketball bracket: Holly Aker 2 in first place.
Listen,
What's up with that?
Every fucking dude, this is like in the last 10 years, we have like a family league. There's like 30 people in it. She's won like 5 of the last 10 years. And every year I'm like, why don't I enter your brackets? She's always in like the top million or top 100,000 on the ESPN brackets, which is pretty high since I'm like number 72 million or something right now.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. I don't know how she does it.
Yeah, it's amazing. But I had to put that in there. So Holly Aker is in first place. She's tied with Mike Waller at the top spot, 28 points. Chris Moline, Chad Smeets 2, and David Elliott each have 27 points to round out the top 5. Sitting alone at 6, Eli Cotton, my son, sitting at 26 points. And then, can you believe this? Tied for 7th place, Danny Rocket with 25 points.
AI picked his bracket.
No, it's my nephew's bracket.
Oh,
Oh,
But I'm
okay.
doing even better on my work bracket. I'm in a bracket over there, and that one I just went on vibes. I was just like, I know a guy who went there. I picked that one. Oh, they haven't got a cool name. Oh, I've never heard of that. I'm picking them. Like, and I'm doing great. That one I'm in first place, or at least I was yesterday, or no, 2 days ago.
I was going to do the top 10, but there are 9 people tied for 7th, which kind of doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't it go
I'm
to
gonna
bottom
lose.
numbers?
You know, it's obvious I'm losing this one.
And I am dead last.
wow.
Of course.
20 points.
You're terrible
So,
at this.
so I'm between you two guys. Should we have a bet?
Yeah, you're somewhere. I will.
We already have a bet.
I'll lose. There's no way I can win because
A 3-way bet.
I basically did
With Michael's mom.
whoever was. I went by the longest or shortest names. Like if whoever the 1 seed was playing the 16, if their name was shorter, then the first round is all the shorter names. That's how I picked the entire thing. It was just based on the 1 seed in each bracket being longer or shorter names, and it is not working out for me.
Yeah, no, terrible.
But do you know what you should get into? Maybe you can get into this business, Michael, because I see this in the chat from David Elliott. People make their entire living simulating baseball games and having pretend dynasties. Doesn't that sound like
It sounds like the worst possible existence. I played the fantasy baseball. We had a fantasy baseball league for about 5 minutes last year, and I hated it. Made baseball suck.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
You have to pay attention too much. Baseball's the hardest one, and it's the old school one, but you really have to anymore. You used to set your out lineup once a week, and that's probably a better league. But when you have to change things every day, it's a lot.
Well, the problem with fantasy baseball is it takes the actual game out of it completely. Like, you can have a guy just doing terrible or not doing anything good for the team, but just doing good for himself. And like, somehow that's good. It sucks. But
Yeah.
anyway,
But
quick though,
people like it though, so I'm not going to say that it's.
I love
not
fantasy football. I love
Yeah,
it.
because some people really enjoy it, so I don't want to totally. I mean, it's just, but to me, it was not fun because it felt not like baseball. It felt like some weird numbered game based upon points, and and it kind of is the things that I don't like about the current game.
Right.
exactly.
Like the armchair managers and the armchair
it
DMs,
used-
I should say.
Right.
Armchair
And
owners.
that's what used to be great about it, because it was like a little nerd place to play baseball back in the day. But now everything's nerd baseball. So you feel, I don't know, overwhelmed by it.
Lyle, what you were
feels
saying
too
about
nerdy, yeah.
football, fantasy football is more fun because
It's once a week.
it's once a week, but it's also more of the game. Like, you can look at your running back and then look at the defense that running back is playing against and decide. You can't do that with baseball. That's just not how baseball works.
You
Like,
look at pitching matchups, you're like, oh, he's going to play this team. But yeah, overall, good hitters are good hitters and bad hitters are bad hitters.
Corey says it turns into a chore, and I've added it to
100% Corey, and that's I agree. That's I hate that about fantasy baseball. It becomes a chore, and that's why I stopped playing it. I played for like 20 something years, and I left about 5 or 6 years ago. And I'll never do it again.
I think there is a Ranters League, though, springing up again that people are joining. So, like, I don't want to poo-poo the idea that people who like doing it should do it underneath, the Ranters moniker.
I'm never going to poo-poo anything anybody likes to do. Look, you like to go on Pornhub and watch this like incest bullshit. Go ahead, do your thing. I hate it, and I'm not going to do that. Like, and I'm not going to even act like fantasy baseball is fucking good in any way.
I'm putting it on the wheel. I'm putting mom porn on the wheel of grievances. I just am. My mom just died. Like, this is horrible.
I think it's stepmom.
Oh, that's the worst version.
You brought this up.
That's the incest necromancy channel, and that's not good.
I was gonna say the winner between the three of us gets the loser's mom, but if Danny loses, it's gonna be really fucking weird.
Yeah, you have to go down to the shrine. just jack it by the shrine.
Is that what your dad called it? All right, moving on.
I believe it is at the end of his novel. But speaking of that,
did you see reading it?
Did you see the new Oyster Catchers logo?
Yes.
Just seemed like a good time to bring that up.
Yeah. Absolutely perfect time to bring it up, Danny. This thing popped up on social media yesterday. They immediately took it down, which makes me like, when I saw this, I thought 100% they knew what they were doing. But when they took it down immediately, I was like, holy shit, somebody actually looked at this and did not know. And that gives us back to fantasy baseball players, right? These nerds have never seen a woman in their entire freaking life. They had no idea what this was, because that is clearly a vagina in a baseball mitt.
I think it's an instructional video too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
right.
That'll help people.
Michael, the baseball mitt is part of it. Don't leave out all of the vulva.
Well, right.
tell your wife to call me.
I don't know.
Wait a minute.
Looks like
I mean your mom. I don't know who we're dealing with.
On the right side, I think you might want to see a doctor about those bumps, though.
Danny Joey says check your text messages.
Oh, okay. Why, he's sending me more oyster catchers?
Yep.
Oh my God. But yeah, I could not believe that made it out there. And when it did, I literally thought it was on purpose. It looked like that. Like, I thought that was the point. The oyster catchers was literally the point of that.
I mean, it literally is an oyster getting caught. So it does not bother. I mean, it just, how could you make that not look that way? I mean, that's what oysters look like. Like there's nothing we can do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what are they supposed
what we
to do?
could
Like,
do is not put it on a logo.
what just a guy with technically it's if you have an oyster catcher, you could have like a dude catching an oyster,
Right? Or
like
change
little
the
Tom
color.
Sawyer looking guy.
Change the color. I don't think that team is like pink.
That's a different channel. Yeah, once again.
I'm moving on.
We got to do
the Taos Tacos logo is fire. Apparently, I don't know what that is.
By the way, this just in, Michael Cotton. There is a new video of you sent to me by Joey.
Oh Jesus Christ!
You hugging. Here we go. Ricketts. Who's the chick that comes in there?
Mike's mom. It's 3-way.
Oh my God! That was weird because like I'll tell you, the woman that came in, that was the weirdest part.
Yeah,
I was totally getting ready to hug Tom Ricketts, and I'm like, I can do that. But then when the woman showed up,
well, that's your mom.
It became a thing.
All right, so let's do some bitch clock because we have lots to talk about, and I will. Actually, let me do it right now. I'm gonna share the link.
We have to bail before we're not. Even
I know. Well, we'll make him go first, and then when he has to bail, he has to bail. Yeah. But I'm going to drop the link in the chat that if you would like to come on and spin the wheel of grievances, take a time in the bitch clock box, then you can. I just shared the StreamYard link, and you can come on and do that. In the meantime, let me get this bitch clock. Bitch. All I have to type in is bitch, and it comes right up in my browser. It's really bitch clock. All right, we are ready to go with that. And let's take a look at the wheel of grievances, shall we? I will. Oh, by the way, hashtag chance in the chat. I don't think I said that. You can win a Frank Chance postcard sent to you by me with a message of love and doom. I failed to mention that this entire show. So
it's
anyway,
so funny. The whole off season, we had barely anything. 2 games, and this wheel is full.
It's full. And there's a couple leftovers because they're still relevant. Marquee not showing Cubs games. No fuckable Cubs. More spring after Japan. Those are leftovers from the last wheel of grievances. Now we've got Bleacher Jeff getting 5G to go for Japan for his trip there because people are big mad about that online. I don't know if you've seen any of that. He's catching lots of grief. They're telling him to go to the suicide forest. Wow. That's how bad it's gotten on Twitter right now. Wow. And it's mostly White Sox fans, by the way. So I'm just going to put them in there. Fuck them again. I almost liked White Sox fans again, and now I hate them again. They all fucking suck.
That's wild.
A lot of these are from Bill Sugas. Some of them are from Jose Orlando Mercado out in Puerto Rico. So Bill, I think it says Cubs pathetic offense. No fire in the dugout, meaning from like Craig Counsell. Again, it's just something we talked about last year. This is from Bernie Bear and the Oligarch Dodgers. They made the wheel of grievances and losing 2 home games why they couldn't go 1-1. I don't know. The tough April schedule looking like a gauntlet. The roster built to lose in the playoffs. Ohtani's replay homer. That was fucking bullshit. Ticket prices for the yard, but they are expensive. That's the new center field section at Wrigley Field. They're really high. Seiya crapping the bed in Japan. Matt Shaw just making the list. Just whatever you want to go. If you get on Matt Shaw, bitch about him. Fantasy baseball and mom porn, they got added during this show. Do we have anything else we'd like to add? Because that's a lot of stuff.
That is a lot of stuff. So I think we're good.
So we're going to put Lyle in the bitch clock seat first. And just you tell me when to spin. And
let her go.
Here we go. All right. What are we gonna get here? I really hope you get Bleacher Jeff getting 5G for Japan. Oh!
Okay,
yes!
Danny. I don't know, man. Danny, you
Yes.
seem to say what it's going to be, and then that's what it becomes.
Hey, I'm just a lucky dude. Look, I'm in 7th place in the NCAA tournament, all guesswork. So I'm in first. Here we go. In the other one, it's complete guesswork, and I'm in first. So I think
the Cubstradamus coming out of you.
you've got it.
I'm
Here we
ready.
go.
Let's go.
Pitch clock. You have 30 seconds to pitch.
Listen, I don't know what everybody's upset about. Why are you so upset with this guy? I mean, he gets 5G. Who cares? I mean, look at him. He has to walk around with that beard full of mustard. And the only date he could get to go to Japan with him is his mom. Why are you telling him to go to the suicide forest? It's already bad. It's already bad. He doesn't need to know it's worse than it is. You people need to leave this guy alone. He is already pathetic.
Stop your bitching.
Oh,
Love you.
boy.
Yeah, Jeff, I love you, man. I was just joking.
Poor Bleacher Jeff just catching
You
strays all over
You
this.
are catching strays. I'm sorry.
Well,
I had to.
They're just killing him online, and it is
It's
mostly
awful.
white.
I was looking at it. I was like, man, this is kind of fucked.
What? I just don't understand why anybody cares that much. It's like,
Right.
that money could go to kids with cancer. And I'm like, but then go give money to kids with cancer. Like,
He's
dude
more.
raised-
Listen, kids with cancer have it better than Jeff. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, and they keep saying that stupid shit like, oh, that money could go to kids with cancer. Kids with cancer are not allowed to go to Japan. They have to stay in the hospital. They're stuck. You give
Right.
that money to the kids with cancer,
It's
and
wasted.
they're just going to waste it on
They're gonna
fucking
give-
medical bills or
They're going to
something.
give
They're
it
not
to
going
doctors. They're going to give
Yeah.
it to doctors.
The medical industrial complex.
Exactly.
know?
All right,
So-
spin that wheel.
All right. Yeah.
Unless what they're saying is send those kids to Japan because they want to kill those kids, because that's what would happen.
Yeah, exactly. In the suicide forest. So here we go, Michael. I'm putting you in the wheel next because I
Jeff,
have
I am
that
sorry.
power. All right. We'll take
Yeah, we
Bleacher-
all know what's coming up here.
I'm going to try to guess again, just so you know it's not what I'd say it is. I'm going to guess that you're going to get say a crap in the bed in Japan. All right, let's see what happens. Spinning the wheel of grievances.
We can't see the wheel of grievances.
Oh, you
by the
can't?
way. No, you're because you
Oh.
got this shit
Bogarted
rigged, just like that Otani
Look.
home run.
You can't see that? Oh, it's not working. I don't know why. All right, let's see what it came up as. Stop sharing. Let me reshare so you can see the proof. Share screen. Wheel of names. I'll go again. Roster built to lose in the playoffs. That was from Bill Sugar. So you willing
Gotta
to take
rewind
this?
it. You got to rewind it.
I gotta hit it again.
No, you're on the stop pitching part. You got to rewind it. That's
Oh.
all.
Oh, I gotcha.
I can do roster.
Right.
Built to
Look
lose
at
in
that's
the
what you
playoffs.
got. Sorry, this is technical difficulty. I can't see two screens at once. So, all right. So, are you ready to go?
Sure.
Roster built to lose in the playoffs. Here we go.
Pitch clock. You have 30 seconds to pitch.
Okay, first off, there are no playoffs. That shit's taken a hike many years ago. It's the end of season tournament, and this roster isn't built even to get to the playoffs. They're built for 83 wins yet again. Everybody keeps talking about, oh, well, they're 90 wins, all this stuff. That is not true.
10 seconds.
It doesn't matter if they got better players. They're still using them wrong. They don't know how to run the damn team or play game to game. This team is not
Stop
just
your
going to lose in the
bitching.
playoffs. They're not even going to make it.
Not even gonna make it. Well, they have to win the Central. Everybody's saying that. That's for sure. Nice job. I've shared the link in the chat if you would like to join us and take a spin of the wheel of
I
grievances.
actually had a back and forth, I think, with Terry E in the Discord. We're talking about it and about whether the Cubs are even a good team. And he said, like, yeah, they're better than 83 wins, or they'll make the thing. And that's made me think right away, like, look at where we've gone in like 2 years, 3 years. 83 wins was almost enough. And people are like, oh, well, if they get to 85 wins, and they get in on a wild card, that's a good team. That's what people think now. That has never been a good team. It is never. 85 wins is
frustrating. It's a frustrating team to watch because they're not that good. They're just a little better than average, or even they're just a little luckier than average. Is all you got to be.
90 wins always felt like the cutoff to feel like you had a chance.
Yep, and that's what MLB has done with this end of season tournament and getting rid of the playoffs completely. They have made this stupid thing where people think that this is good baseball when these shit teams are getting a chance to play in the tournament.
Well,
it's
and I
literally little league end of season tournament.
And why Bill put that in there is because if you looked at us versus the Dodgers, who are actually a good team, or some of these, like the Mets are built to be a good team, like the Giants are building a good team. Like there are the Diamondbacks who are facing opening day signed Corbin Burns, who we're going to face and have a good team. Like the Cubs are just kind of teetering on that edge of good, and they have to get lucky, or as Jed says, overperform their projections in order to be a good team.
I've talked about this before. The Cubs, everybody says the Cubs spend enough money, and they only sort of do. They spend enough money each year, but they don't go into the future. So they can't build anything. They just keep expecting, if we spend money this year, hopefully this team will catch lightning in a bottle and go. But next year, we're going to have to redo all this shit, because the only reason the Cubs are projected for more wins this year is because of Kyle Tucker, and he will not be on this team next year.
No, I don't think so. Even like Bleacher Nation was like, yeah, just don't get your hopes up. We're not doing that. They're never spending money like that.
David Elliott, I'm saying wrong. Oh, we are cream of the crop. Nobody gives you what we give you, and we are. I would put our record of prediction on all of this shit up against any podcast or national show. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about, because they keep trying to play nice with the team. Oh yeah, I think they're going to be good this year. No, they're not going to be freaking good this year.
Well,
this is Fergie Jenkins. You're listening to Son Ranto, the 69th Best Cup podcast.
We are 69th Best Cubs podcast, according to Hall of Famer and statue Fergie Jenkins. By the way, does anybody know where, if anybody knows out there where Fergie Jenkins lived in South Shore, in the South Shore neighborhood? If anybody knows that information, Levante wants to know, because he's doing a walking tour of his neighborhood that he wants to bring people, and he heard Fergie lived down there, but nobody knows where he lived.
That's cool.
All right, I'm going to go.
I just had a great idea, Danny, since you brought up the statue. We need to set up like a thing that if you go stand in front of the Fergie Jenkins statue, like you trigger a thing that says, "You are now listening to the Son Ranto." It would be amazing if people just randomly walked up,
like Disney World or whatever. When you walk by the statues, they start talking to you.
Yeah. Yes,
exactly. That's what I'm spending all the Patreon money in, animatronic Fergie. All right, I'm gonna spin it again. I'm gonna get that roster built. Now you can all see this now, right?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, so here we go.
Spin the wheel.
Spin it. What are we getting here?
I think Danny's getting mom porn.
Oh God. All right, ticket prices for the Yard. All right, I will. I got to share something first, because I have some information on that actually to share. The Yard. This is for 6 tickets in the Yard. This is a center field bleacher seat, $2,100. So I just wanted to share.
Lord,
and I don't know what game that is, but it's one of them. And so I'm going to share the
Pitch clock. You have 30 seconds to pitch.
I was from the day where a bleacher seat was day game only. It was $4 to get in, and you had to show up at the ballpark and get your ticket in hand, and it created a community of people. Now, everybody, they want to still kind of sell that idea to you that you're part of something big. You know, you're a part of a tradition in the bleachers. No, you're not. You're a douchebag oligarch who paid $2,100 to go to a freaking baseball game when it used to cost $4. You're the biggest sucker that ever lived if you sit in the goddamn yard.
I just want to know why all these fucking conservative rich people are so goddamn into putting up a fence and sticking people inside of it. It's fucked up. Like, we just need to stop doing this.
It's literally the gated community of Wrigley.
It is.
I can't wait to see Danny there before the end of April, hanging out in the yard with a ticket that somebody gave him, hanging out, drinking beers, shaking his fucking jewelry.
Well, I want to write a song. It's funny that I got that because I want to write a song called The Bougie Bleachers, which is all like, wah, 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 the bougie bleachers, you know, kind of like a 1920s sort of like Gilded Age sort of tune.
I thought for sure you were going to go for a yacht rock sound.
Oh, that would be pretty good too. You know, but the first thought I had is just kind of like, you know, jiggling your jewelry on your way to because you get the special hot dogs, you get the special hat giveaways. It costs a lot to be there. Like and then they still act like they're the bums. They still act like they're the bums. They're not the bums. They pay $100. Bums don't have $100. That's why everybody's like coming for Bleacher Jeff is like, that guy's homeless. That guy doesn't have a job. It's like, no, he fucking obviously has a fucking job. He's in the fucking bleachers, which is the most expensive ticket to sit fucking far away from the batter as you could possibly be.
Also, special hot dog is Mike's last search on porn.
Exactly. That's another channel. That's yet another channel. So,
why do you think I went to the Mustard Museum?
They had put mustard on that hot dog.
At the Mustard Museum, they have that doorway that has the beaded curtain.
Yes.
And then you go through there, and that's where you find all the special hot dog stuff.
Oh, baby. Special hot dog.
That is a big throwback to a very specific thing that nobody understands anymore.
Only your local video store had such things. Blockbuster would not allow it.
No.
Ironically enough, it was Family Video that had it. You know, it's like, oh, yeah. These are marital aids. We're creating families.
Danny, the weird thing about Family Video is that when you walked in there, all those videos were about family, or at least Pornhub would let you think that.
That would be a current version of it if that's still exists.
Yeah. Back then, the channels were called sections or aisles.
No, so Danny, I do like that idea of in what you were saying. Like that's sort of a 1920s flapper. Like that's sort of the era that we're in too right now with the bougie 1920s. You know, whatever the fuck. Like
it's an anti-oligarchy song. That's for it would be. I mean, because it is bullshit that these people are bums out there. It's not true. Maybe in April when, you know, when you got a ticket off SeatGeek for nothing, but on a Saturday in July, like that is some money out there in the bleachers making those $50,000 cup snakes. All right, cool. Yeah, Joey says your background dancers could be doing the Charleston. Exactly.
It could be human-handed goats doing the Charleston.
dude, we can do anything we want now with AI. It's really incredible.
I love it, including Michael's mom.
Exactly. Just Michael's mom with like goat horns and human hands.
Yeah,
and,
I like
it. I love it.
I like
It's what the people want. All right. Well, that's pretty much the show. So we do have to give away a. Actually, we do have a video.
Yeah, somebody, I smelled something. Didn't you? Did you smell that?
Yes.
I assume that's what I think it is, right?
Did an animal just die? Is it? Oh, is it the goat? Is it the Satan goat?
Desperation and dead human-handed goats is what it smells like to me.
I think I hear footsteps as I upload him.
If it smelled, if that goat smelled like this, no wonder they kicked him out. I mean, that's been the thing. Like he was a wet smelling goat.
Who brings a goat to a ball game anyway? Here's Cubstradamus, brand new look.
Cub fans are really annoyed. In Chicago, they've lost all their joy. Out in Tokyo, the Cubbies did blow up like Fat Man and Little Boy.
Sickening.
So is Cubstradamus on oxygen now?
Yeah.
Is that
Apparently.
little thing like feeding,
Weird.
making sure that Cubstradamus doesn't die?
I think it might be nitrous. To
With
be
his,
honest.
Or-
with his look, is he afraid he's going to get put on a plane and sent to a Venezuelan prison? He really should clean it up a little bit. Just, he needs a beard or something.
Yeah, he looks like a Palestinian protester.
Yeah.
With his pink hair, that freaking what do they call him now? What are they calling the protesters?
I don't know.
Patriots? Oh, what are we talking about?
Yeah.
I forget. All right, so Bleacher Bum Band opening day, April 4th. Come on out. It's going to be free at Output Lounge. I also want to wish happy birthday to Jonah Meyer, Chris Saha, my childhood friend,
Happy birthday!
Mrs. Crawley.
Mrs. Crowley, happy birthday.
Yeah, Shannon. Jonah Meyer, birthday right after his father's. Willie Johnson. I just wanted to say that, but his birthday's coming up.
Happy birthday, Willie Johnson!
Artie and Michael Cantor. And
Happy birthday, Artie. Happy birthday.
everybody's having their birthdays. So,
Happy birthday, everybody.
do you have a TFC?
Well,
I have
hold
one.
on. I got a couple of things to plug here because if
Oh, yeah,
you're looking
your
for
book.
birthday gifts or you're looking for Easter gifts, first off, I still have like 30 of these. If you want to send me $15, I'll send you a pair of Salado socks and you'll have the first version. And I could make more later, but let's get rid of these first. $15 covers all the shipping, everything. And then also, somebody finished their book.
Yeah!
The Bleacher Bums Bible Book, a nice number of Bible verses matched up with musings, history, and random trivia about the baseball team that lives in the cathedral at Clark and Addison. Look, so I finally posted out there. It's on Kindle, and then immediately somebody's like, "Yeah, can you do the paperback version?" And I'm like, "God damn it!" And so yeah, now there is a paperback version. This one that you just saw is paperback. I hate that it's on Amazon only, unfortunately, but at least you can go through the Son Ranto link, and Son Ranto will get 2 cents while I make $1.02, whatever.
Okay.
I'm not making much. You'll notice that the cost for that book is $6.66.
I'm looking it up on Amazon. I can't find it.
Oh, you have to type in the entire title, Bleacher Bums Bible Book, or it won't come up.
I still don't see it.
Okay, try Bleacher Bum Bible
Bleacher-
Book.
All right. There it is.
So you have to
Danny, share that link out on
Yeah.
Blue Sky, and
you have to literally do
Share right
Bleacher
here.
Bum Bible Book to find it. If you search my name, you will not find it. If you search Cubes Fan, you get fans. Fucking sucks because I put Cubes Fan as the author and me as the editor. Unfortunately, that did not help anything. I thought it might be easy to find, but and then
You
of
put
course I
me as the
misspelled
author?
Yeah.
I'm the author?
No, I'm the author.
Oh,
Cubes
Cubes fan. Cubes fan. I thought you said you. I
Oh,
put
no,
you
no,
as the
Cubes.
author. I'm like, I didn't freaking do shit. Don't put my name in this.
No, if you
I
look
don't want to
at,
be on no New York Times bestseller.
yeah, when you look at the back of it, there's a picture of a little confused Cubes fan on there as the
Terry E says Rossi wept is my favorite Bible verse.
I've got some good ones. Look, I will say, so this all stemmed from a long time ago. Somebody was posting like 99 Bible verses for this team or that team. And they literally just put Bible verses in there and it was stupid and we made fun of it. I put weird Bible verses and then not just that, this is what took so long. I wrote something about it. It's very specific to the Cubs. I wrote about the Cubs. I put history of the Cubs. I put different things in there. It's not just Bible verses. You will get an actual enjoyable book. And they had the option of making the paperback 6x9. So of course I went with that. It'll fit your pocket.
75 pages of
Nice.
magic. I mean, is
Fired
it
up.
really 75 pages long?
Yeah, there's 69 Bible verses, and I wrote something for every single Bible verse that
this is great.
matches the Cubs with that Bible verse or why I use that Bible verse.
You couldn't have trimmed 6 fucking pages from it, Michael.
No, so it is only 69, but once you add in like the covers and the title, copyright page, all that shit, that's what ends up.
And it's $3.69 for Kindle. The paperback is $6.66. Like, I mean, who wouldn't buy this thing? Like,
Yeah.
all right, cool.
It's a
That is,
perfect Easter gift.
it really is. Let's hashtag chance in the chat, everybody. I don't think I shared this so late that I think I'm kind of getting to this too late in the party here. But only 6 people, it says. Okay, here we go. I'm drawing one of you. And there's more than 6 people in that list, though.
Yeah, and we see stop bitching. Stop bitching if you didn't get into this thing.
Oh shit. Why does that happen?
I don't know. Joey W. Wrigleyville Bum is the winner.
You can see that now?
No,
Oh.
I can see it in the.
There we go.
There we go.
Congratulations, Joey. You are
Way to
the
work,
champion
buddy.
of the world. And good work on all those hugging videos. It's fucking creepy.
Now we need Joey W. hugging Frank Chance.
Yeah, can we get that, Joey? All right, cool. Well, we didn't do TFCs. Shit.
We did not.
All right, cool. Just real quick. I only have one anyway.
I have one.
I'll share mine right here. This is from Wrigley World Series Fever. All I know is that I couldn't attend a game in Japan with all of that constant drum banging, war chants, singing, etc., etc. I'd have a headache the size of Texas.
Oh my
Shut
God!
the fuck up! Oh God, I hate you so much. Fuck you.
Just stay home. You'll
War
make
chants.
everybody's day better if you're not fucking there. That's ridiculous.
Does that guy got PTSD from WW2 or something? Like, was he like fucking island hopping in fucking 1944? Like, what are we looking at here?
Yeah. Oh.
I still can't figure out how to share it on the screen, but I'll remember to send it to you next week, Danny. And this one I saw, what was the guy's name? I don't see it on here, but he said, "How stupid. Who cares that this dude can cut a baseball in half with a fucking samurai sword?" That was it. I'm just like,
Yeah, everybody. It's cool, dude. Shut up.
amazing. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I don't care. It was so much fun.
Okay.
Must be a
Who
white
else
Sox.
was completely surprised and amazed that sword cut that baseball so freaking perfectly?
I thought it was like an apple or something, or a coconut, or a coconut would be hard to cut.
I was
like that.
worried about the follow through. You know what I mean? Like when I swing a baseball bat, that thing hits me in the back. You know what I mean?
He stabs himself right in the back.
No,
Oh God!
just sliced himself in half. Just
Right. Oh my God! There's 2 of them.
I mean, it worked so perfectly. Like maybe the ball wasn't like a real ball. I don't know, but that ball came in and I thought for sure, like, because we've all done this, right? We've all done stupid shit. Like you grab a machete, which, maybe you have in your garage and you're like, let's throw a baseball. Let's see if it'll cut. And you just fuck up your baseball and it doesn't do anything. It just takes a nick out of it.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was going to happen. And those fucking baseballs were just like slicing in half.
That
That
couldn't have been a real
awesome.
baseball.
it was awesome.
That's how they train in Japan.
that goddamn sword,
Their war chants.
It was
amazing.
cake. They were cake.
Yeah,
They were
cake. It was cake. We all know it was cake. It freaking
All right,
setup.
so
It was AI.
my TFC comes from Reddit on a whole. Everybody's talking about it was a game thread on the second game of Japan Dodgers versus Cubs. This series could have been an email.
Seriously.
don't know,
We
that's
didn't all
funny.
need to be here for this whole fucking thing.
Pretty funny.
Oh, I did have one more TFC, and that is Artillery Commander said someone needs to do something about Bleacher Jeff. And then Craig
Christ. I did. I brought him down to size. Now let it go.
Craig York said, though, Sox fans literally have nothing to watch on the field, so they have turned their attention to Bleacher Jeff. Don't get the hate whatsoever. So I'm glad people are out there. But I did forget to share this. Checked out our poster for opening day Bleacher Bump.
Yeah.
We're going
Looks
to
so
turn this
good.
into a shirt, too. Yeah. So I freaking love this thing. I'll put Wrigleyville on the
Hey,
4th.
Danny, send me one of those posters. There's nothing I like more than a Chicago dog and the bum band.
Yeah, it's going to be great. People are already been like, I need one of those. I need one of those. So we're definitely going to get them printed up. And, I don't know how.
And I'm just
but
calling you
we'll do
guys
it.
the bum band from now on.
That's pretty much where we're at.
which is also one of the latest searches for Michael and Pornhub.
Exactly. Bum porn.
Bands of them, Danny. Bands, multiple bumps.
So we'll be back at some point to talk about the actual opening day and stuff. And I think we got the bleacher bunch going. Probably, maybe the game is until 9 p.m. So we could just go on Thursday at 7 o'clock and pregame the thing, and we'll see you next Thursday. So anyway, here's a song called "Opening Day" because that's where we're at.
Spagog!
It's opening day. Time to start again. It's opening day. It's the season when we turn the lights back on. Winter has gone away. It's opening day. Come down to the park. It's opening day. Sunshine for the darkness, turn the lights back on, because it's time to play. It's opening day, lining up the team. It's opening day. On a field of dreams, you turn the lights back on. Winter's a long, hard way. For opening day. Turn the lights back on. Lights back on. Winter's a long, hard way. For opening day. Summer in the sun, it's opening day. Come out, everyone, and turn the lights back on. We are all in first place on opening day. You turn the lights back on, lights back on. Winter's long.